What if the biggest decision in your business sale is not finding a buyer, but deciding how you get paid? Many owners focus only on the final selling price, but the payment structure can completely change the success of an exit. Seller financing creates a different type of deal where the seller and buyer share responsibility after the transaction. It can open doors to more buyers and stronger offers, but it can also create unexpected risks. In this video, we will explore how seller financing can become your greatest opportunity or your biggest mistake. Let's dive in. 1. What is seller financing and why sellers consider it? When business owners think about selling their company, they often imagine receiving the full payment on closing day and moving forward. However, many buyers struggle to secure enough funding through banks or traditional lenders, even when they see strong value in the business. This is where seller financing becomes a useful option. Seller financing allows the owner to receive part of the purchase price over time instead of collecting the entire amount immediately. The seller essentially helps finance a deal while the buyer makes payments according to agreed terms, including the payment schedule, interest, and repayment period. This approach can attract more buyers, increase deal flexibility, and create additional income through interest payments. However, seller financing is not simply about making a sale easier. It requires careful planning, a trustworthy buyer, and strong protection for the seller. When structured correctly, it can become a powerful exit strategy. When handled poorly, it can create long-term financial risks. 2. How seller financing can help you sell faster. One of the biggest benefits of seller financing is that it allows more buyers to enter the conversation. Many businesses struggle to sell because potential buyers are interested but cannot secure enough funding through banks or traditional lenders. A buyer may have the right experience, understand the industry, and see the potential of the company, but limited access to capital can stop the deal before it begins. Seller financing creates another path by allowing the buyer to pay a portion of the purchase price over time. This flexibility can be especially valuable for small and medium-sized businesses where financing options may be limited. Instead of losing a qualified buyer, the seller can create a payment structure that works for both sides. The buyer gains ownership, while the seller continues receiving payments from the business they built. Seller financing can also increase buyer confidence because it shows the owner believes in the company's future success. It sends a message that the business has strong potential and can continue generating value after the transition. However, selling faster should not mean accepting unnecessary risk. Choosing the right buyer and creating strong deal terms are essential. The goal is not only to complete the sale, but to create a transaction that protects the seller's financial future while giving the buyer a realistic path to success. 3. The hidden benefit, getting a higher sale price. Many business owners focus only on one number, the selling price, but the structure of the deal can be just as important as the final price. Seller financing can sometimes allow owners to negotiate a stronger overall valuation because they provide flexibility to the buyer. A buyer may be willing to accept a higher purchase price if they do not need to pay everything up front. This creates a situation where the seller may receive more total value over time. For example, a buyer may hesitate to pay a higher amount with traditional financing because monthly payments will become too difficult. But with seller financing, the terms can be adjusted to match the company's cash flow. The buyer gains a manageable payment structure. The seller gains a potentially higher return. The key is understanding that a business sale is not only about the headline number, it is about the complete financial outcome. A $5 million deal paid immediately and a $6 million deal paid over several years are very different situations. The seller must consider risk, timing, security, and the ability of the buyer to complete payments. Seller financing works best when the terms are designed carefully. A higher price is only valuable if the seller actually receives the money. For the biggest risk, you become the bank. While seller financing creates opportunities, it also creates responsibility. The biggest risk is simple. The seller becomes a lender. Instead of receiving all money at closing, the seller depends on the buyer making future payments. This means the seller remains financially connected to the business after ownership changes. If the buyer struggles, the seller may face delays, missed payments, or even financial losses. This is why evaluating the buyer is extremely important. A seller should understand Does the buyer have business experience? Do they understand the industry? Do they have enough resources? Do they have a realistic plan for future growth? A seller should never provide financing based only on trust or personal relationships. A professional agreement is essential. Security arrangements, legal documents, and clear payment terms protect both sides. Seller financing should not be treated as a favor. It is a financial transaction. The seller must think like a lender and protect the value they worked years to create. 5. Structuring the deal, price, payments, and timeline. A successful seller financing agreement depends heavily on the structure. There is no single formula that works for every business. The first important factor is the purchase price. Both sides need to agree on a number that reflects the company's value. The second factor is the down payment. The seller must decide how much money should be received immediately and how much can be financed over time. The third factor is payment structure. Payments can be monthly, quarterly, or based on specific milestones depending on the agreement. The timeline is also important. A shorter repayment period may reduce risk, but create higher payments for the buyer. A longer period may make payments easier, but keeps the seller connected to the transaction for a longer time. Interest rate is another major factor. The seller should understand how much return they receive for allowing the buyer to pay over time. Every decision changes the balance between risk and reward. A well-designed agreement creates a win-win situation. A poorly structured agreement can create frustration for both parties. 6. Protecting yourself before agreeing to seller financing. Before accepting seller financing, business owners should complete careful preparation. The first step is understanding the buyer. Do not only look at their interest in the company, look at their ability to succeed. A buyer who cannot operate the business successfully creates risk for everyone. The second step is creating strong legal protection. The agreement should clearly explain payment responsibilities, deadlines, interest terms, security arrangements, default procedures. Professional advisors can help identify risks before the deal is finalized. A lawyer, accountant, or financial advisor can review the transaction and make sure the seller understands the long-term consequences. Many sellers become emotional because they want the deal completed, but successful exits require careful thinking. The goal is not simply selling the business. The goal is receiving the value created from years of hard work. 7. When seller financing makes sense. Seller financing can be an excellent strategy in the right situation. It often works best when the business has strong fundamentals. The company should have reliable cash flow, stable customers, clear operations, a capable buyer, a realistic payment plan. When these conditions exist, seller financing can create flexibility and increase the chances of completing the sale. It can also benefit sellers who are comfortable receiving income over time instead of a single payment. For some entrepreneurs, this creates a smoother transition into retirement or their next investment. The important point is that seller financing should be a strategic choice. It should support the seller's goals, not simply solve a buyer's financial problem. 8. When seller financing can become a mistake. Although seller financing can be powerful, it is not always the right choice. It can become dangerous when the buyer is inexperienced, the business has unstable cash flow, or the agreement lacks proper protection. A seller who urgently wants to exit may accept poor terms just to complete the transaction. This can create long-term stress. Business owners should remember, a closed deal is not always a successful deal. The goal is creating an exit that protects your financial future. Sometimes receiving a lower amount up front with strong protection is better than accepting a risky agreement with a higher promised value. Careful evaluation is the difference between a smart strategy and a costly mistake. Seller financing can be the opportunity that helps complete a difficult business sale, but it can also create serious risks if structured poorly. The key is understanding the buyer, designing strong terms, and protecting your future after the transaction. Would you consider seller financing when selling your business? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this video helped you understand smarter exit strategies, like this video, share it with other entrepreneurs, and subscribe for more business growth and selling strategies.